Welcome back, 93.7 The Ticket. It's been a little while since we've done one of these interviews, but we got her here live again in the flesh. Darian White, basketball player here at the University of Nebraska, who just recently took down number 2 Iowa. Unfortunately, she came down with a little bit of a knee injury these past few games, but that was her first game back, so she only played a little bit, like 10 or 11 minutes in the game, but she's still a huge part of this team. She's been helping the team a lot this year, transferring in from Montana State, where she smashed a bunch of different records. And actually, this knee injury that she had was the first time she's ever missed a game. So she's very durable. So she's over here killing it. Dee, how you feeling about being on the pod again in the same spot?
I'm excited. Thank you for having me again.
Of course.
I'm sorry it's been so long.
No, don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to the fans, man. The fans out there, they need you, man. So go ahead. I want to just talk about a little bit about this Iowa game. A lot of hype's been building up around it. So for all the viewers that clicked on this and want to hear a little bit about that, what was your guys' game plan going into the game? Was it always your plan to try to lock down Caitlin? Was it your plan to defeat number 2 Iowa? I mean, obviously every team, they go into a game, they want to win, but you knew that you were going against one of the best in the nation. How did you guys plan for that?
There was a lot of planning to it, but we just scouted, honestly, like every other team. We walked in there knowing that they're the number 2 They're the number 2 team.
Right.
But also not being scared. And I think we used our fans for, to our advantage.
Right.
And we played off of one another. We played together, and it made it super fun. It made it possible to get it done.
Right. I mean, Pinnacle's special, and I know they were leading going into the fourth. I mean, what was your guys' game plan in the fourth? I mean, by then, Caitlin already had probably 25, 26 points, or I think she was already at 30, and she scored none in the fourth, correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the fourth quarter, I mean, what do you think that was? I mean, do you think that she knew that the record was close and then her priority switched from trying to get this record to trying to win? Or what do you think her mindset was when, you guys started creeping up on her?
I don't know. I think if she could go back, obviously she would take the win. If she could still get the record at our place, but I think she probably wanted to break the record at home.
Yeah.
But by any means, I don't think that she wouldn't have gotten it to lose.
Right.
Because I know she's a very competitive person, just as we all are, and so yeah. But what was the other question you asked? The way I phrased it was the amount of, so she was going for the record, obviously, right? Yeah.
And then when she got in the fourth quarter and she noticed that you guys were starting to close, do you think she started going for her transition, her mindset switched from all right, record to we got to win this game?
Yeah.
And
I think it definitely switched. But by then, I don't know if she was cold or what, but obviously she didn't get going again, so it helped us.
Yeah, no, literally. I know that a lot of Iowa fans were there. I mean, you weren't even allowed to drive around Lincoln just because of how many fans were there, and everybody packed it out. And because there was a rumor going around that if she were to break the record in the first, second, or third quarter, that we would have had a stop of the game, and then there would have been a huge light show.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if you knew that, but
I did not.
It's a rumor. It's a rumor. That was the plan, and they were talking about what type of colors it was going to be, like NCAA colors or Iowa colors. Mm-hmm. And then once it got to the fourth quarter, I think they kind of scratched that because obviously it's a close game.
Yeah.
So a lot of fans were super upset with that, and there's been a lot of speculation. Where do you rank this Iowa win? I mean, amongst your career. I mean, you've had a lot of big games throughout your career, and you've been playing ever since 2020. Where do you rank this one, on your all-time list?
It's number 1.
Really?
Yeah, I've never beaten that's a huge win.
Right.
And just for any team, honestly. I mean, they were number 2 in the country. That's insane.
I know. I mean, what do you think about Pinnacle Arena, man? I mean, even the men's team, I mean, you guys have really got some momentum going there. I mean, what is it? Something in the water, something in the air? What's going on with this Pinnacle Arena, man?
It's
Really?
the fans, yes.
Storming the court. I mean, it has to be.
I mean, there was a lot of Iowa fans there too.
Right.
That traveled all over, from everywhere to watch Caitlin play. But just to have the energy and the environment that we're in when we have that many fans there, it's electric. I've never been in an environment like that. I mean, at my last school, our most fans that we had at the game was 6,000, and that was
What was Pinnacle the other day?
Over 15. Yeah, and so it was just different, and that type of energy, it's so contagious. It's so much fun to play for.
Yeah,
I think that helps us.
Snap. I mean, women's sports here in Nebraska, I mean, speaking of just coming off the momentum from earlier in the fall semester with volleyball inside of Memorial Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Devaney is packed every single time those girls play, and then coming to Pinnacle Arena, even for the men, for you guys, it's insane.
Yeah.
I just love going to your guys' games. And so, I got to ask you, I mean, for all the viewers out there who haven't seen her last podcast, this is her first year within the Big Ten inside a Power 5 conference like this. So I got to ask you, I know you came down with that knee injury, but, leading up to that, What was the change for you coming from Montana State to Nebraska? Obviously traveling a lot, facing a lot higher level competition. I mean, kind of walk us through that transition from Montana to Nebraska.
I mean, a lot. I would say one of the most challenging things that I have experienced here is probably just like the mental aspect of things. Like
Really?
scouting is so much different. You have to be so much more like locked in. And
Scouting as in like your film sessions and things like that,
and scouting like
practices?
other teams and
Right.
knowing personnel on each team. It's a lot more specific, and you have to know every player's skills, what they like to do, what their
What?
tendencies are. You know, it's very specifics, and there's a lot of like details to each player.
Right.
And at this level, like you can't have a lot of mess ups because every team is so good. So yeah, that's probably one thing. And then obviously just the physical side of things. People
Really?
every player is just so much faster, bigger, stronger, and everybody can shoot. So it's just,
Right.
you know, I feel like every player here, they can only do this. So you can just play off them or guard them super tight 'cause they can't shoot. Like everybody can
Right.
do.
Everyone's versatile.
Everybody can really do everything. So it's a lot of just playing the game, which it's nice, it's fun, but it's still it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
More
you
tiring.
mentioned you mentioned everybody. I mean, everything's kind of intensified. Do you notice your body, your change, your play style from your last school to now? I mean, do you see a physical difference? Do you see a difference in your play style? I mean, what's changed for you in just your game? Or do you think that you kind of carried over the same type of play style that you had from Montana State?
Kind of the same play style, but I think that I'm playing at a different pace and I'm able to read things a little bit faster. I would say it's more of like a mental thing rather than like a physical, but I definitely feel a lot stronger and stuff too.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
you are a fifth year. I mean, how much does that play into account too? Versus like, let's say you're going against a sophomore or a freshman versus fifth year. You have 5 years worth of experience. I mean, how much does that hold true?
I mean, just kind of what you said, just the experience, it gives me a lot of confidence. And knowing that I do have the experience, it allows me to go into the game with not feeling like I'm not prepared
Right.
to play any team, but the transition was definitely difficult when I first got here just because of not being experienced in the Big Ten. So
Right. I mean, you mentioned that before, everything's kind of more intensified, stressful. How do you manage all that versus when it comes to school, when it comes to traveling, you're flying all over the country, taking all these buses? I mean, how do you handle that? And then two, the pressure from the fans, I mean, all the Twitter talk and, all the outside noise. I mean, how do you just hone in on what you have to do in your job?
it's definitely a challenge, I think, every day that not only I struggle with, but a lot of athletes with the pressure that they have from fans. But talking to my coaches, seeing other resources, here on campus, I see Dr. Bree, our sports psychologist, and so I get to talk to her about a lot of stuff that's going on, and I'm trying to think what else. Talking to the girls about it, being
Right.
honest with them, and just really focusing in on the inside of the team, because outside noise, it's hard not to listen to, but at the same time, like, those are outside voices that don't know what we do, what we put in, the time that we put in, the effort, the energy, all of it. So
Right.
yeah.
And so if you had to give the biggest difference between, kind of like a team like Iowa, for example, when you guys play versus a team like you guys. I mean, like any given day, anything can happen. It's basketball. I mean, March Madness is absolutely insane. But I mean, what do you think the difference was that night when you guys did beat Iowa? Tough
Well,
question.
I don't know.
Tough question. Very tough question. I mean, it was a close game.
Yeah.
Nobody expected you guys to win, and then lo and behold, you guys pulled it off. And even the men's team too, they pulled it off. And
Yeah.
obviously the home base of Pinnacle Bank Arena. But I
Yeah.
mean, for that specific night at Pinnacle, when you guys took down number 2 Iowa, what do you think it was?
I think that we stayed together. I think that was truly a game where I could sit here and be like, every play, nobody gave up. Like, our toughness and our mentality that game just didn't switch up. We weren't up and down. And of course, they had their runs and stuff, but we responded to every play that they made. And that's something I think that we have had struggles with this year. And so I think doing that against one of the best teams, it was impressive. It was insane
Right.
to watch and play in.
Yeah, no, it's insane just being a Nebraska
Yeah.
fan. I mean, literally. And so moving forward, how do you plan on closing this out? Because then again, this is your 5th year. After this year, you do plan on going overseas and pursuing a professional career in basketball. how do you want to close out this year? I mean, what do you think would be a statement? And, you know, how do you want what would be a proper send-off for you?
Focusing on one game at a time and making it to the NCAA tournament. I know last year they were super close and ended up not making it.
Right.
And so this year I want to make it to the tournament and do well in the Big Ten tournament too.
Right.
And just see how far we can take things.
Right, right. If you don't mind, I'd love to take a kind of like a backwards step, kind of on, you know, how you even got here, even before Montana State, before you know, you really broke all these records. I mean, growing up as a little kid, what inspired you to pursue basketball? And obviously, did you have dreams when you were, you know, a little girl to come here to the university and play, or what was that about?
Well, my older brother played basketball when he was younger. My dad was his coach. And then one day I kind of just picked up a ball and my mom was like, Derek is my dad's name. She was like, Derek, you have to get her to play. She enjoys the sport. She always wants to be out there on the court with her brother. And so get her into the sport, and that's kind of where it started.
Man.
Yeah.
And then from there, so I'm going to guess your dad was also your coach.
Yeah.
Transitioning throughout the years.
Yeah.
A lot of traveling AAU, a lot of, like, what was that about when you were growing up? And was ball is life 24/7 or what? Did you try the sports?
Yeah. I didn't really play any other sports. My dad eventually made me start doing like other training. So I did like some boxing, and I was doing like what do you call it? Like explosive training, kind of like track workouts.
Really?
For like my footwork, and trying to get me to have like better agility and stuff like that. And
Right.
so, yeah, I've always had dreams of playing college basketball, but I didn't really know much about it until I was actually like in the process of being like recruited and stuff, because I just didn't pay attention. Like I
Right.
just.
You're just balling.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, when I got to, I would say probably like 8th or 9th grade, I started taking things like pretty seriously.
Right.
Started going to bigger tournaments, started practicing like 2 to 3 times a day, lots of trainings, like a lot of stuff.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then Montana State, were they the first one to get at you contact-wise for a scholarship or what?
No, they weren't the first. I don't know where they were at in line, but I don't think they were the first. I think, oh my gosh, Idaho State was.
Idaho State,
Yeah,
really?
in Pocatello, Idaho.
And then what separated them from the rest? Montana State, obviously. When you got all these scholarships and all these opportunities to go play ball, what separated Montana State from everyone else?
My coach, Coach
Really?
Ben. Yeah, she just seemed very, compared to other coaches, I thought that she cared about me other than like me being on the court.
Right.
She cared about me as a person, about my family, my life, other things going on outside of basketball. And that made me feel like I was a part of a family when I was there. And that's
Right.
also what I was like really looking for when I was in the portal. So
Right.
it figures if I'm here too.
Well, speaking of the portal as well, you know, coming here and improving your game or staying on Montana State and kind of being like a mini on-campus legend. I mean, why did you choose to come here instead, pursue something new versus, you know, finalize things over there?
I kind of reached all my goals that I had over there, like things I wanted to accomplish at Montana State and also just in the Big Sky Conference. And
Right.
because of COVID and everything, I got an extra year, and I just wanted to take advantage of the opportunity that I had. I think that coming here and playing on the platform that I have been playing on in the Big Ten, it shows other coaches like or for like my professional career,
Right.
it shows coaches and agents what I'm capable of on this level, and I think that that's going to help expand my opportunities that I may have after the season.
Yeah, and speaking of that, if you don't mind, we'll kind of do this as a little bit closing remark. Agents, professional career, post-collegiately, what are you currently in the process of doing that? What's the best case scenario for you after college?
I'm not allowed to talk to.
Disclose it? My bad for the agents out there.
That's it. I'm not allowed to talk to or sign with any agents, but I'm allowed to talk to them and see what the process is going to look like. But right after this season, I'm hoping to sign with the agent that I've kind of talked to and I know a little bit, that knows about me and thinks that they can help me. And then after that, probably go somewhere overseas, maybe in Europe or Australia, to start a professional career there.
That'd be amazing, man.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. What's that lifestyle like? I mean, is it just balling 24/7? I mean, I forgot what your major was again. What's your major?
I'm getting a certification in youth development.
Youth development. So are you going to be teaching on your off time, or is it just ball is life 24/7?
So I think I actually want to go back to school.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to get a certification to be a doula, a postpartum doula. But over there, it depends where you go, obviously, and like what league you're in and what team you're on. But some other girls that I know that are overseas practice like 2 to 3 times a week, and then they're done, and they make pretty good money. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it's not like rookie year, it's not going to be like super good, but over the years you can make a lot of money just for playing basketball.
Exactly, doing the sport you love, making money, and on top of that too, getting your degree. And you have something lined up for you, post professionalism. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Dee, I mean, if you have anything for the fans out there, anybody or anything that somebody would like to know about you and the rest of your journey, I mean, go ahead and share. I put you on the spot again. But any closing remarks, words of inspiration for somebody who possibly would want to be in your shoes one day.
Anything is possible. It's kind of cheesy, but I mean, just work hard, and honestly, hard work pays off. And keep supporting Nebraska athletics. Keep supporting Niko here in his podcast. Thank you for having me.
Of course, AD. Thank you. The fans out there love you. Thank you so much, guys. This has been 93.7 The Ticket, Niko and I podcast, and we out. Peace out.